Tales of Monkey Island. This was released in 2009. Initially, it actually was one of the only installments that had a release on the Wii, as well as on computers. It was released in 5 monthly installments. It was a collaboration between LucasArts and Telltale. This was also in production at the same time that they were working on the special edition of Monkey Island. So they tied the two things together. The big story of it is, of course, a final fight with LeChuck. Starts with Guybrush trying to finally defeat LeChuck, and due to events, somehow it turned LeChuck human again. And somehow unleashed the pox of LeChuck on the whole area. So this is not a good thing. But it was released, as I said, in 5 chapters, in which each chapter had you working to get things together to get rid of the pox of LeChuck, and in turn LeChuck himself. The first chapter having Guybrush get blown to Flotsam Island and figuring a way off the island and getting his own ship. The second chapter finds him rejoining Elaine and LeChuck. LeChuck seeming to not have caught the pox, and Elaine has caught the pox, as well as every other pirate in the area. And, so Guybrush loses his hand. The third chapter, of course, will then get you to the manatee mating grounds where the La Sponja Grande is. And then, of course, you go back to the island, and you have to get La Sponja Grande to its size to absorb up the pox. And, LeChuck shows his true colors, with the final chapter being a now dead Guybrush working to beat LeChuck one final time. Now, each chapter has the mark of Telltale Games on it. Well, they worked on it. And while you could answer in various ways, of course, Guybrush will answer in his own way, depending on the situation. And it keeps the humor of the series. I mean, you've got something like G.I. Joes or Power Rangers for pirates being mentioned. It contains an unusual dueling mechanic in the making of faces. We have some minor villainry in a mad doctor who's literally knows how to control the winds around the island of Flotsam, so he's keeping all the accident-prone pirates there to continue his research. Yeah, he's a nutcase. But you have all sorts of humorous endeavors on these islands and in these adventures, with characters showing up to either cause mischief or just mess things up. I must admit, there was so much that I had to laugh at in this game, or in the series of games, if you want to think of it that way. Each chapter is a separate game. And the way it was designed, you do have some carryover. But it's also designed that the items you need to carry over, you do manage to have at the end of the chapters. Through natural means, of course, which is a good thing. I mean, I have to laugh at the whole trial that is in the fourth chapter. Mainly because Guybrush is his own attorney, and he gets out of jail by being his own attorney. But they, we expect it to have escapes. It's only a pirate thing to do. It's not like you can go anywhere, which is absolutely true. And the way that we have some of these cases, it's in that. Oh, and unfortunately, we get that evil returning of Stan, and he's not affected by the pox because he's not a pirate. I mean, he's evil in his own way, but he's not a pirate. I have to give them credit because of, my God, that suit. It still looks so freaky weird. Oh, I don't know how they pulled that one off. And so many other weird things that they throw in there. I mean, finding your way through the jungle is an adventure in and of itself. And everything else is just so crazy. I mean, it keeps the humor. Oh, we get Murray back too. In chapter 3, we get Murray back. I love it. He's in a chest. You open the chest. There's Murray. Hey, Murray. Of course, by the end, I think before that chapter's out, he gets thrown in the drink again. Of course, you also hear him in the end credits of that chapter, which was a laugh riot. And Guybrush finds he has a fan, other than his wife. A pirate hunter named Morgan Le Fay. Yeah, she's also got the hots for him. But she gets killed by LeChuck in chapter 4. And her spirit. And also, LeChuck blames the voodoo lady for his whole life. Which, I don't know how accurate that is, but when he's finally defeated, because he's got to be defeated both in the mortal and the plane of the living and the plane of the dead, which is tricky. And the only weapon that could do it cannot be wielded by a mortal hand. In other words, an undead hand can handle it. Which, yeah, that's even funnier because, with Guybrush dead, he has to, of course, has to repossess a body in order to handle the weapon because he can't do it as a ghost. And it would work best with his own body. And there are so many references and that they put in there that keeps with the offbeat humor of the series. It's a joy to have played through it all. And after the events that ended Curse of Monkey Island, I'm glad they did this game because it was a more fitting end. I mean, I suppose they do keep certain things intact. Guybrush and Elaine are doing a more piratey life than being stuck in a home. She's free of being governor because her grandfather returned, which is a plus. And she still does the diplomatic approach. But as the course of events plays out, she counts on two things: that her plans will work, and usually because Guybrush will find a way. While she is not necessarily keen on the voodoo part, she acknowledges it. And this game saw the return of a lot of mainstays in the series. Uh, the usual crew of mainstays of this Guybrush, Elaine, LeChuck, Stan, and the Voodoo Lady. Of course, you'll get a little offbeat, little meta humor with those. And in the end of the game, which is something I really like, the fact that how it ended, we have a fitting moment. It's like their life is, perfect now. They're getting their, quote, happy ending. Guybrush is a great pirate, and he's an unlikely pirate, but he manages it. And through all of his, doings, he can figure out a lot of stuff. And of course, certain things can turn in the opposite way for him. But he uses everything to the best of his abilities. And even death doesn't stop Guybrush. Of course, then death didn't stop LeChuck either. And there's always something that can, figure things out or get things working proper. These 5 chapters were a very good story, a very interesting story, and very well crafted together, as it doesn't leave up any loose ends, even between parts. And even though we got introduced to a new character that has a lot of potential, they flesh out their character really well. Some of the other characters too. And this was a joy to play this one. I would have loved to have played it when it came out. Would have been interesting if I had played this on the Wii. However, I didn't get that opportunity. Funds being what they were in 2009. But given that they were working on this at the same time as the special edition of Monkey Island, of the first game, they did a very good job. And it's a fitting end to the series, better than Curse of Monkey Island had been. Or, I mean, not Curse of Monkey Island, Escape from Monkey Island. However, I will go more into that when I talk about the series as a whole. Now, I hope you've enjoyed listening to me go on about Tales of Monkey Island, a fine entry and ending to the series. I do recommend people playing it for the experience. Each chapter is its own little game, but it plays together nicely. I also invite you to check out all the other videos I have up here. Check out my Tales of Monkey Island playthrough and my playthrough of the other games in the franchise. As always, Rich Kale here on YouTube, Rich Gen X elsewhere. Give this video a like, I appreciate it, and please subscribe. Bye all.